I found my identity through food that would fuel a drive to dig deep into the history of my Omani and Zanzibari heritage. I now want to meet others and discover their history with them and the recipes that keep them connected to their heritage. Welcome to Dina's Coming Home. Today I sat down with Kamila Erkaboyeva, who is the best ambassador to her culture. She has spent her life navigating the in-betweens, born in Uzbekistan and raised by her London surroundings. Kamila brings a voice that blends tradition and transformation. Whether she's speaking about culture, identity, or the quiet strength of her motherland, she has a way of making you want to get on a plane and visit her home. In this episode, we talk about what it's like to come from a place that the world barely knows, how speaking up about bad beginnings can literally turn into your future superpower. So grab a cup of tea, settle in, and come home with me as I go to visit Camila.
Dina, what tea do you want?
What tea do you have?
Well, I have Iranian, I have Greek, I have Turkish, I have Uzbek.
I want that one, Uzbek.
You ready to experience the Uzbek chai
Yes,
tea?
please.
I'm gonna spill some tea for you. So, how we usually brew it is we do this thing. I forgot the name of it. I forgot the time of it. But what I do is ching ching ching.
Ching, ching, ching.
So, you pour it 3 times. Try not to spill it. If you spill a drop of tea, that means you're not equivalent to be a good bride.
Wow.
So I do that often. I spill it all the time. I spill it all the time. Like, I don't care.
You're not made to be a good bride. But why do you do it 3 times?
It kind of helps the brewing process when you brew the green tea, basically, green Uzbek tea. And when we pour the tea, we don't pour it to the max for the guests. That means that we love the guests. That means we want to care for the guests. That means we have to pour the tea all the time for you. So I'm gonna pour that amount to show you how much I love you.
Oh.
So it's to the half.
Perfect. Thank you.
If I fill it to the full, that means I don't want you here and you better get out.
I love that. Like, drink a tea and leave.
Out.
Okay, but half cup means that you'll keep refilling.
Exactly. That means I want to care for you. I want to look after you, and yeah.
Love that.
So that's the art of spilling tea.
It's time to spill the tea.
Let's spill the tea.
On everything Camila, everything Uzbekistan. I can't wait.
Goodness, I feel like it's going to be a lot.
Yeah, I know.
I feel like you might have to stay here overnight.
I feel like my producer Chris is going to kill me because it's going to be another long conversation and I'm not going to want to leave.
I'll order Uzbek food.
Oh, that's even better. That's all we need is Uzbek dinner. Okay. So there's actually one question I wanted to start with. It's actually not a question. I think it's going to be a statement, which I read about you. Well, you had quoted and said, Uzbeks believe blood will always call your name. And it was definitely the case with you. So we're going to lead from there because what does this mean?
Correct. It means that I grew up in Tashkent, then relocated to London, and never really fit into any culture that I was growing up in. I felt like I'm not enough, and I was trying to kind of accommodate, and I tried to kind of diverge into each and every culture that I'm in. So I'm actually half Russian myself. My mom is Russian, who was born and raised in Uzbekistan, but she doesn't really count herself as Russian. My dad is fully Uzbek from the mountains of Uzbekistan, and I'm here, half Russian, half Uzbek, living in London, who's also British. Like, I have 3 cultures in me. And when I was growing up, I was like, who am I actually? Like, who am I really? And somewhere in between it all, I just realized I am Uzbek after all. So the blood called my name. I started going into my history, my culture, and my family tree, just to understand who I am, and yeah, there you go.
I love that. I don't know where the saying comes from. I think it's an English saying, but my mum always used to tell me when I was growing up, blood is thicker than water. Yeah, and I always remembered that because whenever I acted out or did something, she'd be like, oh my God, blood is thicker than water and you're acting like your father. Because I never got my father, but she was like, the blood is there. Well, I want to know, okay, what are we cooking today?
we are cooking piroshki, which is not Uzbek, it's actually Russian. However, it has been installed into us, into my childhood specifically. In schools we used to have it, we used to have it in bazaars. You either have it baked or fried. I go for the baked version. It's nicer, it's healthier, it's yummier.
And this is the thing that your mum used to make?
Yeah.
So it holds like a little special place.
It's a special place. I know the recipe off by heart. I hope I won't fail you.
So today our style is a bit different. We are doing it out in Cami's living room on her lovely table on this beautiful Uzbek Suzani. And we want to make it more of a teaching style so you can make this perfectly at home.
No pressure.
No pressure. Okay, so flour.
Flour. Yep, we whisk it.
And we just want plain flour.
Typically choose Polish flour because it's the closest to the flour at home, I felt like. After cooking a few times this recipe, I'm good at cooking it. No,
we trust you.
Please. We add a bit of baking powder.
Okay, I'm assuming
to make it puffy.
Because when we add baking powder to things, it's just make it a bit more airy. And puffy.
Exactly. So make it more airy and puffy. So just maybe half of the teaspoon. So next is kefir, our ingredient. It's ingredient at my home. Everyone makes it differently.
I love that you use kefir in this.
Yeah. So probiotic, super healthy, and it just proved to be the best pastry, best dough out of it. Some people make it from water, like warm water. Some people make it through warm milk. We make it from kefir. And that's what I was raised with. So yeah, people were making pills out of probiotics. This was our probiotic.
Do your family make kefir themselves?
No, we buy it. It's just too long of a process. So we
I'm
buy
here
it.
for the honesty.
We buy it. So yeah, so a bit of shaking first.
Okay.
Yep. You're shaking now.
Oh, this is where it like explodes everywhere. Any oil?
Any oil you prefer. This is rapeseed. You can use sunflower, whatever you choose. The oil will make everything kind of
Makes it
softer and doughier. Yeah. We want to make sure that there are no. How do I say in English? In Russian we say kamochki. So there's like no bowls.
Yeah.
So
Kamochki.
Yeah.
Sounds like a Tamagotchi. Does anyone remember
Tamagotchi? Yes, I had a Tamagotchi.
Yes,
yeah, I always used to kill them though. We're gonna make sure that we mix it and until it goes into the stable dough. Can you smell it?
Yeah. You can really smell it. To a stable dough, and then you can.
Yeah, and then we mix our hands. So let's go. Yalla. Amazing.
Oh my god, I'm feeling pressure. I feel
no,
like
you've got this. You're such a great sous chef.
If this goes wrong, your mum's gonna come downstairs.
She will come downstairs. She'll probably shout though. The liquid is mixing up and slowly it's getting thicker, and soon we will start working with our hands. God, if Uzbeks are watching me right now, they're probably judging like, hardcore. What is she doing? This is not even Uzbek, but guys, just watch this face. I know what I'm doing.
So, I want you to take me back to the beginning. I want to know where in Uzbekistan you're from, the village, the town, and what it was like growing up there.
Right, I was born and raised in Tashkent, which is the capital of Uzbekistan, and growing up in the neighborhood that I'm from, it was actually like a working class neighborhood, and it was very multicultural. So we had Azerbaijanis, we had Tajiks, we had Iranians, we had Armenians, we had Tatars, we had Russians, we had Koreans. So I grew up in a very multicultural neighborhood, and back then to me it felt like Tashkent, the capital, was very multicultural as well. And I've been trying and eating all kinds of food. Like everyone is celebrating something, and every neighbor is giving you something to try as well. So I grew up on the Korean food. I love Korean food because we had this whole Korean diaspora coming from the North Korea during the Soviets, and the Soviets pulled them to Uzbekistan to immigrate, and they had to adjust their food to Uzbeks because Uzbeks cannot digest spice. Like Central Asians cannot digest spice, so Koreans had to make their food like less spicy for us, and we love it. Like we love it.
That's insane.
So I grew up in a very multicultural neighborhood, trying all kinds of food, and I grew up with all kinds of food. And to me, that's what Uzbekistan was when I was growing up. And I picked up on a few languages and a few accents, few terms, and a few street slang. So yeah.
So you're a young girl that ends up coming to the UK, and you come under I'm assuming you come to the UK under good circumstances. How was that for you? And by good circumstances, I mean you didn't leave because you were forced to leave.
No.
Yeah.
I didn't want to come to London at all. Like I remember, and we came to London to UK. We immigrated because there were better opportunities. We were from a working class family in Uzbekistan, and there were no many opportunities back then for families like ours. And my mum and my dad were like, yeah, we need to immigrate, and they've been trying for so long to immigrate. My dad has been trying to immigrate to America, and he was failing. And my mum, she was learning English, and when we were little, she taught herself English, started teaching it to kids, got herself into an agency that sends kids from upper rich families to study abroad, like to UK or America. She learned the whole hustle and the system, became friends with people at the embassies, and she sent herself like that as a student to London. And she ended up staying here. She's started loving here, and she realized there's many opportunities here, especially for us as kids. So she brought us here, and we came from a neighborhood, working class neighborhood, which is very multicultural, to another neighborhood which is very multicultural, Streatham. So
I can't believe you ended up in Streatham.
I know.
I can't even begin to imagine what it
I
was like.
was the palest girl out there. I was the palest girl in Uzbekistan anyway, but I was the palest girl out there.
I love this. First look at you, especially when you went into school, like
I white
look
pass.
white.
Yeah, I
you're
white pass.
passing.
Like I'm pale, but I'm not white. So
But
like,
did they recognise that? Or did they think, oh, she might be one of us? But also you were in Streatham Balham. There's already a multicultural...
Yeah. It's interesting. They did recognise that because I had a group. I became friends with a group of middle class English, like white kids. Picked up the accent, picked up the language, and I kind of fit in with them. It was such a strange thing, but also at the same time I didn't.
I had this from the other girl I interviewed from Afghanistan.
Yeah.
She mentioned that her skin was just enough for white passing, so she was able to fit in quite easily, and they didn't care where she was from, nor did they want to acknowledge it.
We all learned it's got nothing to do with country, it's the colour of one's skin. These people thought I was white.
But what about the group of friends that you had? Were they curious? Did they ever ask?
Yeah, it was interesting. I had my first birthday. I remember I had my first birthday. My mom was like, yeah, invite all your friends. And she cooked all the traditional Uzbek food. So we had mantis, so similar to Afghan mantu, like proper dumpling. She cooked something else. She cooked salads, like Russian salads, like Korean stuff that I like grew up with and that I missed in Uzbekistan. And she laid it all out. And just in case she brought some crisps as well. They came in and they didn't touch the food. They ate the crisp. They went for the crisp. They were like, oh, this is like strange.
How did that make you feel?
I felt sad. I was like, this is like, guys, this is the food. Like, you don't understand. But I felt sad for my mum as well. Because like
she went through all of that.
she was like slaving it out in the kitchen.
What did she say?
She didn't say anything because like they're children. Like, what would they know kind of thing.
And they didn't even want to like try it.
No.
This is what I don't understand about children. I remember that growing up. I was always too scared to just let them come over because like our house always smelled of rice.
Let me pour you some tea.
Thank you. Always smelled of rice and curry, and I was always like, oh no, I can't bring people here. Like it's not going to be normal. But being Russian or having that heritage, has she ever been like singled out? Like do people treat her differently? Yeah.
She has. It was, and she felt it as well. But she actually told me very interestingly that she was more singled out in Russia. Like, and she looks proper Russian as well. So she told me it's really interesting. I went to Russia and they told me I have a weird accent, like not their kind of accent. And she was like, that was the only time I felt a bit of a racial difference and that kind of judgment towards me. But in Uzbekistan, she said she was okay. Like everyone has always been super friendly.
So good.
Yeah.
Just so accepting of all these different cultures.
Uzbeks have this thing where they will offer tea even to their enemy.
Wow.
Yeah, so we're like that.
Okay, very hospitable. That reminds me of Omanis. They would do the same thing. I wish she would.
For the filling, simple potato. But the secret is, whilst it's hot, you have to like mix it. whilst it's hot. Otherwise, once it gets cold, whilst it's cold, it's gonna get harder. So, whilst it's hot, let's mix up our softened butter. I personally think the more butter, the better.
Oh, always.
Always, obviously, and that's the staple.
Butter in it.
Yeah, I put butter in it, and then we go into it. Once again, think about all the frustration, all the people that pissed you off throughout the week, and like really take it out. And yeah.
What's your favourite filling?
Cabbage.
What is it? Or green cabbage?
Yeah, it's basically like green lettuce cabbage, like heart gem.
Oh yeah.
Cut it up very thinly, fry it up a little bit with butter in a saucepan. Add a bit of herb, a bit of salt, a bit of pepper, and that's it. It's ready. Yeah. Leave it cool. And yeah, look at that handwork. I'm so proud of you.
Oh my god.
Love it, love it. Yes. Continue. You have to continue until it's smooth.
Continue?
Whilst you're doing that, I'm gonna get some knives so we can start cutting.
Fancy mashed potato. Fancy anything that's in front of me.
I'm ready. So now we add a bit of salt, a bit more, and the greens. So we've got spring onions here, and we have some dill. I can't believe you never tried Uzbek food before.
Not properly. No one's ever given me a chance.
Aww. We can always come back.
Always.
We'll cook Uzbek rice dish, plov. I'll bring my dad for it. And then boom, 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 boom.
Do people eat these as a snack?
Just that?
Yeah. How would they usually eat these?
The spring onion or like what?
No. The whole thing. How would they?
Piroshkis?
Yeah.
So I have smetana, which is a sour cream.
Oh, okay.
And I will show you how we usually eat it. But yeah, as a snack usually. Add it here. I think that's enough. Smell.
Yeah, it makes all the difference.
It's something so simple. Dina. Now we wait for it to cool down because whilst it's hot and whilst it's warm, the dough will get too attached to the warmth of it, and then it will be all messy. It's messy business. So yeah, let's wait for it to dry.
Nice smooth mashed potato.
Yes. Bye bye. And I love radish as well.
Oh, something about the crunch of a radish. I love.
It's the best. Just don't breathe next to me. I'm kidding. And like my dad, we have a summer home and we have a garden there as well. He was growing basil and tomatoes.
You end up in Streatham. How come? I'm assuming your mum was based in London when she came originally to visit.
Yeah.
So London was the place to be.
Yeah, it was based to be. I don't know. She decided Streatham, and then she sent me to a secondary school which was art focused, where Adele was also a student.
You went to school with Adele. That's wild.
And then Dave, the rapper.
Oh my god.
But he went to college in Richmond. But yeah, and he lived in Streatham as well. So
this
yeah,
is crazy.
there was like London talented group of people all come from Streatham, so don't underestimate Streatham.
What school was this?
Chestnut Grove.
And it's in Streatham?
It's in Balham, but yeah.
Oh, so it's for the artsy type.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. Okay,
Yeah.
I love this.
But,
so what was it like? Would you remember being 11 when you first came to England?
Yes, I hated it. I didn't leave my room for a week.
Why, what was it? Like, what were the differences? How did it feel?
The English that we grew up with in Uzbekistan, they teach you American English, and then you come here, and then suddenly you have so many different accents. People are saying water, and someone says water. Someone I was like, how do I pronounce it? Like, so many different accents. I was so overwhelmed, and I didn't speak English properly at all. So when I came to school for my first lesson, I was so disorganized, and at some point I was bullied as well, because obviously, she's a freshie, she's from a village, she's from some weird country, and yeah, at some point I was bullied, but boxing lessons came to end. So.
What was did you ever imagine 11-year-old Camila, then 18-year-old Camila, and settling into UK life, did you ever imagine that you were going to start talking about Uzbek culture? What was your What was the point that made you go, I want to talk about Uzbekistan?
No, I was telling you, I was in the shadow. I was a shy kid, skinny, pale, extra pale. I did not want to speak out. I was scared of public speaking. I didn't speak English. And I would have thought that I would be somewhere in the public and be open and, you know, talk out loud without being scared or like, you know, shuddering. I think it was at the point where I was probably 17, 18 when I was diagnosed with pancreatic tumor, and I went through oncology and I went through that life or death experience, and I realized I don't want to shy away anymore. I don't want to put my life on hold and constantly wait. You know, maybe that'll be the moment, maybe that'll be the moment.
How long did you go through pancreatic cancer?
It was 6 months.
Oof.
And by the time they diagnosed me, it was already like intense. It was the size of a tennis ball and it was attached to my liver.
That's
so
insane.
And I was already like losing a lot of blood, so I was constantly falling on the floor.
Yeah, and to be that age and like going through that is it's mental.
Usually you think about uni, but in my instance, I was like, am I gonna live?
Yeah, I've got more to think about.
Yeah, so I think after that experience, and after going through something like that, I realized I don't want to put my life on hold anymore. I just want to be out there, be loud, go for it, and not be scared.
Yeah.
But yeah, and right after that moment, my mother got remarried, and unfortunately she didn't remarry a nice man, and we were going through domestic violence and abuse, and unfortunately I didn't see the physical side. I realized it was happening when I was in the hospital.
Oh my God, so you're dealing with that and then you find out that's also happening at home.
Yeah, so I only noticed that once, maybe when my mum then came to the hospital to visit me, and I saw like a huge bruise on her hand.
Yeah.
I was like, Mum, where is that from? And she was like, oh, it's work, you know, I'm clumsy. I'm like, nah, like I know there was something. And once I came back to home to recover after hospital, I've experienced the kind of fights, and I experienced that it's more than just an argument. And when I experienced the physical side of it, I was like, that's it, we're packing, we're leaving. And we had like 40 pounds, 60 pounds between us. We packed 10 years of our lives in 2 suitcases, and we were like, let's go. But she was really scared. She was like, no, Cami, like, we're immigrants, you know, we're from Uzbekistan, like, you know, where are we gonna go? Like, how are we gonna live? We have nowhere to go, kind of thing.
Where did you go?
I googled overnight, where are we gonna go? I googled what's in that situation. I called numbers. I went to the police. I was like, Mum, don't worry, like, we've got this.
Filling.
We have the dough. We'll see if the dough is ready, if the baby is ready.
How do you know when your dough is ready?
No,
just
like,
instinct.
you know, I just know it's the instinct.
It's the Uzbek in you that just knows.
I just know it's the ethnic in me. So we wait 30 minutes and it froze up a little bit. So there you go. Once you touch it, it's like, it sticks, but it doesn't. So I'm gonna add a bit more flour to kind of unstick it and get it rolling. I think I will need you to be the flour person once again.
That's fine.
You have the beautiful Uzbek cup here.
Sprinkle it over.
Sprinkle it over, and that's it. So and actually on my hands. So what I do, that's my mum's trick.
All over your hands.
Yep, all over hands. Wait. No flour, none needed. We don't want too much flour. We just want enough so it doesn't stick. And what we do, once you have flour, we put flour on a rolling pin and we just like roll it all over, to make sure it doesn't stick. There you go, that's ready. So we're gonna use it in a bit. Now.
Oh, it's really soft.
Yeah, that's how it should be, and it doesn't stick to your hands.
So light, like, there's something about it, it just doesn't feel like a dough.
Yeah, exactly, that's the whole point. That's the secret of using kefir.
Okay, yeah. It gives it that lightness.
It gives it that, and obviously a bit of oil. Yeah.
So nice.
So now we're gonna split it.
Okay.
Bowls.
Oh, so they're quite big.
Guys, usually I make them like medium sized. It's fun, right?
It's fun. So you want it to come out like
but
that.
you kind of want to give it love as well, so it comes out nice.
Give it love, give it anger.
Yes, give it everything. What we're gonna do is squish it on your palm. Nice. Doesn't have to be pretty. It will only be pretty once we put it in an oven. It's fine. So this is now ready for the filling. So the filling is potatoes, a bit of dill, a bit of spring onion, salt and pepper. Now, the magic. Roll it gently. Be gentle with it. And then boom. That's your piroshki.
Cute.
Yeah, and then we will add an egg wash on top of this.
And then we put them in the oven.
Put it in the oven. Yeah, the oven is getting ready, so it's perfect.
Can I ask what a bazaar is?
Bazaar, like a market.
Yeah.
Pinch it, pinch it, pinch it. It's not too hard, but it's okay. It's okay. It's perfect for the first time. Piroshki.
Piroshki, my first
But
ever piroshki.
in a single form, pirojok.
Pirojok.
What was like your thing, like during childhood? What would you be making with your baby?
I hated food.
You hated food?
I hated food.
What? No
I hated
way.
food, hated cooking, didn't want to be in the kitchen. Although when I was at home with my baby, she was always cooking. So if she was making like chapati, Alexander's chapati, she'd give me dough and I'd just sit on the side and make my own.
Oh, okay.
And then like there was this other thing we always used to eat, mandazis.
Okay.
Which are like coconut and cardamom donuts. Yeah, and she's constantly making them. But the thing is, I always hated cardamom.
Oh, yeah.
So I never ate anything sweet really when I was younger because everything that they cooked at home was sweet was with cardamom. It was only until I got into my 20s that.
You got into it.
Yeah, I think it's because I started cooking. My whole taste buds like completely changed.
So now is egg wash. So I'm gonna mix egg, specifically egg yolk. Egg yolk is the yellow one, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. For the color and the crispiness, I guess. Yeah.
And you
But she
managed-
was hesitant. But yeah.
And where did you go?
So the police sent us to a different neighborhood, which is Fulham, and they were like, go opposite of where you live, or like another end of London. So we went to Fulham because my college was in Richmond. I thought, you know, maybe when I get back to my A levels, it might be logical. And they listened to our situation. We were there for a day, like in the borough council. And they were like testing us. They had a therapist there to test if it's true or not, like whether we're going through it. Yeah. My mom was crying. She was like, this is humiliating. Like, let's go back. I'm like, no, like, we're going to go through this. Like, it's okay. I've researched. Like, I know what to do. It's fine. And yeah, she was crying a lot. And then at the end, they were like, yeah, like there is this association that can help you, that helps women going through this. Like, there is this number. They will call you. And yeah. We went to like Airbnb for like a week, I think in like Hounslow. Then after that, that organization was like, yeah, we have a free space in the house, come. And we stayed in Ealing. The house was in Ealing. And yeah, it was a huge house. We had a floor to ourselves. And there were like other women who were going through the same situation. And it was really sad. Some of them had a 1-year-old, you know, or a baby. And everyone was different, like from different walks of life, from different cultures. And I became really good friends with some of these women. Some of them were students as well, uni students.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And what, like, and all this was happening. Did your father know? Like,
No, I kept it hidden because it was, first of all, my dad is another side of the world. Like, I didn't want to stress him. Second of all, it's a big taboo. Domestic violence and abuse is a big taboo in Uzbekistan. Now it's evolving. Now it's a bit better. And now there are organizations in Uzbekistan, which I'm really proud of, who work towards breaking that taboo and helping women. But back then, it was still a taboo, and it was so rooted. It was rooted in the culture, in the people. Women would rather stay quiet and go through that abuse than go back to their parental homes. And unfortunately, the same was with my mum. And I didn't know how to explain it to my dad either without worrying him and without, you know. So I only told him later in life, once we went through that and once we kind of got over it. And yeah.
it's interesting how your culture, no matter where you go, can still hang tight with you. Because for your mother, she's been in this country for a while.
Yeah.
She goes through this, but she still holds on to the Uzbek tradition of I've got to keep quiet and just push through.
Yeah.
And, you know, the fact that you were there to kind of pull that out while also recovering.
It's just one of those things, like it's a big taboo. Even if you're a daughter of someone who went through domestic violence and abuse, they're like, no, hush it, hush it. Even the fact that I openly say, yeah, I had a pancreatic tumor, I went for oncology, I was recovering, that's a taboo as well. They're like, oh,
really?
she won't be fit enough for marriage, like, you know, like these kind of things, these kind of
Come across
conversations.
as sick and it's
Yeah,
not...
yeah, yeah. And I'm like, oh, actually, I'm stronger than you.
There's definitely a culture I see definitely more in the East. I think we used to have it a bit more. I think even when I remember when my father was sick, he would never let anyone come to the hospital and see him sick. He had to cover up, look smart.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to know.
You're not
that
allowed.
Sick,
yeah.
because, you know, and a part of it for us comes from like an evil eye aspect. So sometimes I can do it, and I wasn't even born in my countries. I was born here, but if something happens to me, like for instance, I have PCOS, I wouldn't necessarily talk about it publicly because I don't want anyone to put an evil eye on me and then suddenly I can't have children. And so we hold on to these because I don't know. I don't know if it's a comfort to hold on to these things or it's just how you've grown up and it's very hard to remove those. Or you see it happen to other people and you assume, oh, that's evil eye. Oh,
or like superstition kind of thing.
Yeah. Fascinating.
For this kind of business. All around.
Ooh. Have you ever done that to someone? Or is it your mum or your dad?
What?
Ever given someone like a full cup of tea because they don't want them to return?
I have, but like I didn't mean to.
Lies.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I have, but I didn't mean to. So yeah, that's an egg wash and we are ready to put it into oven, and within 20 minutes or so, well actually half an hour to be precise, they're ready to be eaten.
Yay.
So yeah. For you guys, actually the filling, yeah. You ready? So wait for the heat.
There's a book inside there. What were your dad's 2 jobs?
So one of the jobs, he was working for a shop, but that's when we were little. He was working for a grocery shop, I think. And then the second one, he was working for a retail shop that was designing Olympic teams uniforms.
Oh my god, yes, I saw you post on Instagram. Okay, that is the coolest thing.
And he made that into his full-time thing, and he designed a few Olympic team costumes. Costumes, I guess, for Uzbekistan. So he done for Australia, I think it was 2000, and then in 2004 he did somewhere else. I forgot where it was. I think Malaysia. So and I still have them. Like I brought them from Uzbekistan. I wear them proudly. I put them into every photo shoot that I'm in.
Yeah, totally. I love that. All very different. Like, but also, what made? I understand that it was because of the Soviets bringing them to Uzbekistan. But why Uzbekistan? Why not any of the other? Or did they get all split up?
They all got split up. So Azerbaijan had diasporas, like Russian diaspora, Ukrainian diaspora, Kazakhstan as well. So the whole stands were all multicultural, and that was the whole strategy for the Soviets, for them to speak one united language, which is Russian. So Russian kind of is a colonized language. It was imposed on those from the stands.
Yeah.
And that kind of connected us because obviously one language, but also different stands and nations are very similar. So we all had the same morals, similar principles. Islam was in most of them, in most of these countries dominating. So we all kind of got more connected, if anything.
Do you have a religion?
I do. I'm a Muslim.
The majority of Uzbeks Muslim?
Yes, majority are Muslim, and because we have a different diasporas, we do have big churches and Catholic churches, and we have synagogues. We have in a big city, Bukhara, in Uzbekistan, we have a famous synagogue there as well. So we have Uzbek, Bukhari, and Jews who have and they have very mixed table as well when they come together. They have a very mixed cultural foods. Some of it is from Russian culture, some of it from Uzbek culture, some of it from their roots as well. So it's all mixed.
Very, very cool.
Yeah,
I love that. Being an Arab, they're very intertwined, and sometimes it can be very hard to differentiate if this is Muslim or if this is me being an Arab.
Exactly.
What about?
So very interesting aspect that you're talking is I actually witnessed that myself last year. when I went to Georgia, and there is exactly the same. The culture and the religion are so intertwined.
Yeah.
And I started thinking, what about my culture? Like, what are the things that is intertwined into us? So I always step, when I go somewhere new or somewhere, I always step with the right foot first. And I was like, why is that? Like, why is that engraved in me? And I'm like, oh, it's part of Islam.
Yeah.
So I didn't I didn't clock to me, you know.
What about like using your right hand?
Yeah.
So you should never use your
Left hand. Yeah,
yeah,
always the right hand. When we greet someone, we greet like that, like especially if it's a male. So I'm a female and there's a male. Like we don't touch. Like
okay.
If it's business, obviously, I will give my hand to shake. But otherwise, like assalamu alaikum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. So there are aspects, and as you grow up, you don't really think about it. Like you don't question it. But yeah, it is intertwined.
Do you have a lot of Uzbeks that speak Arabic then?
Yeah, there is a huge wave right now, especially who are very getting closer to religion and they practice it more closely.
Yes, Uzbekistan's along the Silk Road. So what was their part along the Silk Road?
So Samarkand, which was the capital back then of the Silk Road, it was a pit stop for merchants of the Silk Road from China, from Afghanistan to come and exchange as well, like exchange the goods. So it was beautiful. Like I have to show you a documentary one day, obviously, but it was beautiful the way it was back then. And I went to these sites as well recently, and they're very preserved, and you feel that history is so grand. The buildings are so big and grand. It's like you'll think it's Iran. Obviously, it's Silk Road and everything. We have Bukhara, which is one of the beautiful cities as well, which Omar Khayyam walked on.
Really?
Yeah. So
wow.
We're very well known for the Silk Road merchants, but also well known for algebra and
for algebra?
And scientists and religion. I think it was in Medina or Mecca, when you say you're from Bukhara, they're like, oh yeah, there's a Bukhari scholar. So,
yes. Because in Saudi Arabia, they have a lot of Bukhari people.
There you go, see? Because so Bukhara was well known. That was the capital of Islam, Islamic studies. So a lot of scholars came to Uzbekistan as well, to Bukhara specifically, and went back.
Yes, because when you go to like Saudi Arabia, you see a lot of Bukhari people, and they look different. But yet they're wearing abaya and their scarf, and you're like, hold on, something like, fascinating.
Yeah.
God, so it's such a rich and old culture. How incredible.
And they're so humble, and that's the thing. I think that's why we're not very well known. We're very humble. We have so many different talents. We have so many different history points, so many different elements to us. Every region is rich and colourful and flavourful, but we're very humble as a nation. So,
I like that. It sometimes works in your favour, sometimes doesn't.
Yeah, that's why I'm working in tourism PR right now, to kind of raise it up. Yeah.
So for you, would you say that your culture has been about, or how you've come to your culture, has it all been about preserving, or has it been about finding?
It's both.
It's both.
It's both. So what was interesting is the friends that I made during uni times, who are from Uzbekistan and Tajikistan and Kazakhstan, but specifically Uzbeks, what I've learned is that they don't know their culture like our culture either, and they were the ones who were born and raised and lived in Uzbekistan until they were 20, 21, 22. And I was like, whoa, guys, like, how come? I came here when I was 11, and even though I was coming every year to Uzbekistan, how come you're not interested as much? Oh, it's not cool. Like, the West is cooler. And let's say if I go to an event and it's like, oh, assalamu alaikum, I don't do the whole hug and shaking hands in the West. They're like, why are you doing that for? Like, that's bare. Like, that's like a village girl. Why are you doing that in a village way? And I'm like, that's how we like greet. Like, that's me being respectful. So there was that aspect of preservation and looking into it, but also in between it all, I realized I'm not fully Uzbek either, because I'm half Russian, I'm half Uzbek, I'm also British. I don't speak the Uzbek properly either. So I was looking at it as something to be ashamed of, but somewhere in the middle all, like, I started to express it, I started to put it on social media, and I started to claim it and also bring back the diaspora and immigrants and other third culture kids who also felt the same. And somehow I created my own subculture.
I love it.
And somehow I started bringing more and more people and started bringing more and more companies and more organizations who are interested in what I'm doing, what I'm talking about. So in a weird way, I kind of created my own little subculture through preserving and reclaiming and recreating and relearning.
Are there a lot of people with the same mix as you?
Yeah.
In terms of the Russian and the...
Yeah, but there's even, like recently I met a guy who's half Kazakh, half Angolan.
What?
Crazy.
Half Angolan?
Yeah. Like...
How the hell did an Angolan find an Uzbek? And
I don't know, but it's so interesting.
Was he born in Uzbekistan?
He was born in London, but like he has a Kazakh name, and I'm like, whoa. But his second name is Angolan. I was like, whoa. And at the events I see him in, he's the tallest mixed race guy, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's my friend.
Oh my god, I love that.
Yeah. So there's different cultures, and like they're all interested in what I post and how I deliver the information. So there is a, you know, I'm an Uzbek from Uzbekistan, you know, here is the tea that we're obsessed, here is the, you know, these are Uzbek cultural elements that we would put usually when there's a guest. But the way I explain is, guys, this is post-Soviet Union, so this is a part of our culture, but also what has happened to us.
Yeah.
And, you know, this is a cotton flower. So I go into the history of it, but also trying to put my sarcastic British humor into it as well.
I love that. That really helps, like when you're trying to actually learn something.
Yeah, so it's like a digestible information and digestible history.
Oh, baby.
Do you think your mom's going to be proud?
I think she will still have some criticism to say, but...
What do we have today?
We have piroshkis of my childhood. It's a street staple food in Tashkent. I grew up eating it in school, in bazaars, at home. So yeah, this is... Yeah.
I can't wait to try them. Oh, they're going to be so hot. How am I going to bite into this?
That's going to be funny on camera.
I would eat it with smetana, which is like a sour cream. I usually get it from a Polish shop, but because I can't find our ones in here, so I just go, that's the closest. You can drink it with kefir as well, like dip it as well. So yeah, some smetana here. So let me choose this one for you.
A bit of smetana on the side for you.
Are you already eating?
Yeah, sorry, I got a little bit hungry.
Oh, this is hot, I can't break it. I want to eat.
Alright. Shall we have it together?
Yeah, we should. How cute.
To the French chef.
Oh.
Yes,
Oh, look at all that
perfect.
filling.
It's perfect. So.
Okay.
Test.
Okay, at least this will cool it down. Okay, you ready?
Oh,
Alright, we're going to eat these together.
I hope it's good.
Ready?
Wait, you eat first.
Wait, I need to blow it up, look.
Yeah.
Okay, ready? Let's go. Perfect. Carb and carb, but potato and bread.
Something, and dill and pepper and the sour cream.
Oh, snack. I feel like I need to keep these in the freezer type of situation.
I hope you guys are not too hungry because she's going to be eating them.
All for me.
Yeah, it's soft inside, puffy, but outside it's like nice and...
And the kefir gives it a little flavour.
Yeah. I can cook.
She can cook.
I can cook. Guys, do you want to dig in, please?
So hot.